I have to talk about Zion Williamson today because he was recently at Media Day for the New Orleans Pelicans, and man, oh man, is he looking very skinny. I would say he looks skinnier than he did even in college and high school.
We came up with a plan, and boxing to working out on the football field a lot to just different random workouts. And during that time frame last year, I really felt a shift in my body to where I would look at him and go, dude, it feels good to feel good. I haven't felt like this since college, high school, just where I can walk in the gym and I'm like, I feel good.
It's pretty remarkable. And there's a lot of debate as to whether or not people should get invested in this at all, given the track record Zion has throughout his career. We, as NBA fans, have been pump faked on the potential of Zion finally figuring it out like 5 different times now, it feels like. I think he's going into year 6 or 7 or something like that. And I believe he's only made 1 All-Star appearance. I think he got close another year, but like, he has 2. He's just perpetually been injured, and he's also gone through this cycle of 20-30 games and then playing 60 games and then playing 20-30 games and so on. He played 30 last year, he played 70 the year before that, and he played 30 the year before that. So part of me, I said this earlier on, I don't know if it was into the off season or like towards the tail end of last season, because he was playing very good, but it does seem, based on this pattern at least, that we're due for another one of those 70 game seasons, 60 something game seasons. So at least there is that. Assuming that that isn't just a coincidence and it does continue to hold. But the other thing is, Zion last year, when he came back, was in remarkable shape by comparison to what we have been made used to. And he played really, really well. He played under 30 minutes per game, but in those games, he was putting up 24.5 points, 5.3 assists, and 7.2 rebounds. He was getting a lot of point Zion moments. And if you bump those numbers up to per 36, that's 31 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 7 assists per game. On top of that, he also averaged a career-high blocks per minute, so he's at 1.1 per 36. Maybe it's a pipe dream to even consider the prospect of him playing even upwards of like 33 minutes per game, but it is at least in the realm of possibility. His second year in the NBA, at just the age of 20, he was putting up 27 points per game. Playing around 33 minutes. He also took the most 2-pointers in the NBA and hit 62% of them. He looked very good at the tail end of last year, so the fact that he is coming into this season looking in even better shape, I am inclined to believe that this is actually going to hold up. That has been the debate. Should we buy in? Should we not? Another big thing that I factored into the conversation last year is that Zion is up for, I think, an extension of some kind, or actually, it's not that he's up for an extension, it's that there are a bunch of incentives in his contract that if he doesn't meet a certain weight limit, if he doesn't meet a certain games played requirement, then he stands to lose like upwards of, I think the options go into the tens of millions over time. So there is a lot of money on the table that is the factor there. And I was a little bit last year like, is this just cynically Zion trying to protect his money, and instead of being like wanting to be in good shape for the sake of being a good basketball player, he wants to be in good shape for the sake of cashing out on his contract? If it's the latter, then that fucking blows, and it's probably a sign that this is not going to get any better. But Zion is 25 years old, and he is in the best shape of his entire NBA career. And when he has been in good shape, he has done remarkable things. So, and the other thing is, like, being out of shape has been a big factor in him having the injury issues that he has. So all of that comes together to where I'm like, look, I do believe to an extent that this could be real. Now, I'm nowhere near betting the house on it. I think you'd be a fool to do something like that for Zion in big 2025. But I don't think that it's entirely unreasonable to buy in a little bit. Do it with a little bit of hesitancy. Don't put all your eggs in that basket, but I can see it. The other thing is, like, I like the Pelicans roster if Zion is healthy. I never liked the Brandon Ingram fit. I like Jordan Poole next to him. Just it's nice to have. I think CJ McCollum is probably a more reliable player, but it's better to have a younger player that you can see a longer term future with. Trey Murphy just came off of averaging 20 points per game last season, and I think he can maintain that average even with Zion playing. Herb Jones, 14 million. I'm looking at their salaries right now to look at the roster, but Herb Jones, he's an awesome defender. I think he's one of the few defenders in the NBA who's not a center who I'm like, yeah, I can see that guy being DPOY. Derek Queen's an interesting player. I'm not sure how that fit's going to work because he's a very interesting center. But there's just a lot of stuff that I like about the Pelicans. They also drafted Jeremiah Fears, who is a decent college player, and he's really young. Like, there is stuff to be happy about with the Pelicans seeing Zion in this state. I was watching Kenny's video about this, and he mentioned that, like, NBA fans, almost all of them have something to be excited about going into the next season, and the Pelicans really didn't have that. Well, I think this does give them something to be excited about. Obviously, lots and lots of hesitancy in saying that, but there is enough to get a little bit of a spark, a little bit of like, hey, maybe this will work out. Jeff Teague wasn't feeling it, and I understand his perspective 100%, although he does say a little bit of contradictory stuff because he was reacting to the press conference live. I'm just going to read this lineup of it from Ball is Life. Zion said, "The Pelicans embraced me, and I told them I wasn't going to let them down if they believed in me that much. It helped a lot that they really believed in me." Jeff said, "Man, cut this shit off." Zion said, "They're going to hold me accountable, accountability and responsibilities. We came up with a plan, and from boxing to working out on the football field, so just different random workouts. During that time frame last year, I really felt a shift in my body to where I would say it feels good to feel good. I haven't felt like this since college and high school." Man, I can only imagine feeling like I was in the body I had in high school. Jeff says, "This is probably the dumbest press conference I've heard in my life. All of this is because of you. You chose to eat, be out of shape, all that. Now all of a sudden it's a contract year or looking for an extension. All of a sudden he's in shape and he said they believe in me. Fool, they gave you a max deal. They've been believing in you." Here's where he says something contradictory. "They've been believing in you. They had to put a lot of options in his contract because you didn't." Oh, never mind. He didn't contract it. I missed the word "you" the first time I read this. They had to put in options in the contract because you didn't believe in you. That's dumb as hell, that press conference he's doing. The thing is, this is the thing that bothers me a lot, especially when like a athlete gets asked like the same questions all the fucking time. And then people are like, "God, I wish he would stop talking about this." And it's like, dude, he was replying to a question. I think a bunch of people were dunking on Cam Thomas because he was talking about I think it was Zach Lowe that he took issue with him, calling him a ball hog. I don't think that he was necessary. I don't think that Zach Lowe was wrong about that, but I also think it's Cam Thomas's right to reply to the question with what he feels when he's asked the question. That's not the same thing as like bringing shit up unprompted. Zion was asked to talk about this, so he's saying what he needed to say. Should he maybe have taken some more personal accountability in the way that his career has gone to this point? I can get behind that, which is why I'm not really mad at what Jeff Teague is saying here. I'll read the last thing that he said. "They embraced you when you first got there. What are you talking about? You were the one who was out of shape. You finally decided to lock in and do what pro athletes do, take care of themselves. Hell no, I'm off that. I ain't a fan no more. You get paid damn near $40 million a year to be in shape. I ain't trying to sound like an old head. It's just like you do a press conference and say, I feel the best I've felt since college. You chose to feel that way. You could have been like this for 3 years. Come on, bro. You were the one damn near 300 pounds. I think the 300 pounds thing gets a little bit exaggerated because Zion at his like healthier weight in college, I believe, was between 260 and 280. And I can attest personally, when you get into the 210s, 220s, at that point, putting on 10 pounds just in the course of like 2 weeks is extremely doable. It depends on your body type a lot because some of these dudes are just 220 pounds because they're 6'8". But Zion very clearly, like there's differences in like people being tall And like some people are tall and it looks like they were supposed to be a 5'10" person who just got stretched out until they were 6'6". Zion is one of those dudes who he is fully built to be 6'6". His body is designed to be that height. Which is good because there are a lot of health complications with being a scrawny ass tall person, but it also leads to health complications in Zion's case where you can put on an insane amount of weight in a very small time. So I have some sympathy for Zion because he's been in this vicious cycle of like injuries, rehab, not being able to work out to the extent that you need to during those rehabs, and then gaining weight. Like it's the same damn process that Joel Embiid circle that Joel Embiid has been stuck in perpetually. And I don't think it is strictly just Zion hasn't tried enough, but also I do think the fact that he's gotten into this shape at this point is evidence that you probably could have, probably took a little bit too long. It's been very frustrating to get here. But if we have arrived to Zion finally being anywhere resembling the player that he was hyped to be, then I think that is an absolute massive win for the NBA. So while I can't say that I am as optimistic as I would like to be, as optimistic as I normally is in my nature for these kind of things, because I have been proven that that was a mistake time and time again. At the end of the day, it would be great if this holds up. So I'm going to root for that. But yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to skinny legend Zion. Hopefully it maintains.